Oh! What? Okay. Well, I accidentally went there before I started recording again, so I was going to get back into the van so I could show the cutscene and then start the level, but that happened, I guess. Let's just get the intro done with, Bentley.
The road trip gave me the time I needed to study up on the Panda King. Born penniless, he was fascinated by the fireworks rich noblemen set off every New Year's. He spent a decade learning the art. But when he tried to offer his fireworks to the noblemen, they couldn't see past his shabby clothes and chased him away. Humiliated, the Panda King took revenge on those who shunned him by using the very tools of his art for crime. The Fiendish Five recruited him as their demolitions expert, and from then on, his explosive touch became feared worldwide. He's rumored to be perfecting some new firework technique high in the unstable Kunlun Mountains of western China.
So, with that, welcome back to Let's Play Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. To fire in the sky. So, with that little cinematic out of the way, on we go to the beginning of this place. Punk. There seems to be a bug here where sometimes the camera will just get stuck in the car. Why get up, jump out here? At least sometimes, though. It's kind of weird. God. Enemies here are actually thankfully very easy to deal with. That's kind of a breath of fresh air here in China. And you might want to be cautious the first time you see them because you don't know what they're doing, but then, bop. They're actually really easy to deal with, especially the guys in purple, because they jump straight up to you and leave themselves open. It's quite courteous, really. Now we have one new ability that we haven't really had elaborated on yet. Usually this happens immediately when you start a new episode in the game. But those little things are called wontons. What's your name? Andre. Andre the Giant? Here's Raccoonus, I can see. But we have a new ability that was mentioned in the last episode when we unlocked it. This is invisibility. No, you're gonna interrupt me, Bentley? Sure, thanks.
Oh my gosh, that's awful! That poor village just got buried in freezing snow!
The rocket came from that giant statue, and you can bet the Panda King lit the fuse. I've got to find my way up there and fast before that lunatic squashes another town.
Well, like I was saying, and not too fast because this isn't a Master Thief sprint. But like I was saying, invisibility, which I cannot use right now because somebody sees me actually, apparently. Apparently whoever's all the way over here, that guy, sees me. I guess that an invisibility technique also works as a way of seeing whether or not there are any enemies aware of you. But, man, this feels like something out of Takeshi's Castle. Also, I think you might be able to hit the wontons to make them... Yeah, you can hit the wontons so they don't hurt you. You really don't need to. But while invisible, you cannot be detected by anything. You cannot be detected by lasers, you will not be detected by enemies, you will not be spotted in searchlights, anything like that. Oh hey, is this where I started out the level actually? It's cool. I didn't realize that that was where this part was the first time I ran through here. I just like those kinds of details. Well, whoa. Oh. That. Something felt wrong about what just happened. I don't know what. Anyways. Oh, God. That was a little close. Let me just get on through here. But, well, now you'll notice it's kind of annoying sometimes when you press circle and you need to do something else, you actually end up becoming invisible. But being invisible isn't too bad of a thing to have happen either. But it is pretty darn powerful. Whoops. That was why I ended up doing dumb stuff with the guard last episode at the beginning. Lots of times in a row. Because I was used to being able to just run right up to a guard and then just become invisible when I need to. You really get spoiled with this ability. It's a really nice one to have. You might have noticed though, yes, you can only stay still when using this. You can't move, which is something of a limitation, but that aside, it's pretty nice. It's still really useful. It's exactly as practical as you'd think, really. As long as you don't need to move to accomplish something, you can accomplish it quite effectively. But it works. By using invisibility. It's not always a quick way of going about things. Ow. But it is one that works nonetheless. Bong. Just seeing how many bottles I have so far. Something I've noticed that's really clear about the clue bottles in this episode in China is that, see, can't see, is that they tend to be really sparse compared to earlier in the game. I don't know why. You also cannot, of course, become invisible on things such as these. Now, the game hasn't actually told us how to use an invisibility yet, so it's basically just acting as if we don't have it, which means things will be a little bit easier for a moment, but we won't be able to see just how useful invisibility is. But then the game's gonna start going, okay, we know you had invisibility, so we're gonna make you use it. So enjoy it while it lasts, with you not actually having you use invisibility, and with invisibility actually make things a lot easier instead of just being a necessity. Money, money, money. Whoops. I'm not really sure how I'm lighting these things by doing what I'm doing, but I'll go with it. It's also very easy to identify the things you can break in China, because they happen to be very largely comprised of big red pots. Anyways, don't have everything we need for the vault yet. Actually, we're really missing a lot. Man. Am I normally missing that many? Oh yeah, I am. Goodbye. I love it. It's comical. I just throws himself in front of you. But if you're wondering where we get the rest of the clue bottles,
security gate without one of the Panda King's treasure keys.
I can see myself from Monocticom.
But it's heavily guarded.
That's where they are.
Coming up.
Not nearly as bad as it sounds at all. Really, just run on through. If it looks like somebody's going to see you, just use invisibility. And they can even touch you and they won't notice. And even if you attack, you can immediately become invisible too. You don't actually have to wait for the attack to finish either. So you really don't have to worry about not using any unsafe actions while there are guards that might be able to see you too. But of course, there's still ways to go about things in a more timely manner. And if you really want to, you can, of course, use a decoy or a hat mine to get rid of enemies as well. Also, this part is a little bit laggy because of the camera angle, I guess. Because the camera is looking at basically everything that's happening in the game, or in the level. But now we can just run on back. I could have done this the first time, but I wouldn't have been able to have fun or get the clue bottles. You can just take this path to get through without worrying much about being seen. Whoa. And two more. One is right here, and the last is right over in this corner. Perfect! And the clue vault happens to be right over here, despite having been found quite a while back.
Press the circle to enter the vault code.
And we get a very useful ability here as well.
I got a real headache figuring this one out. Input 578.
I've actually noticed that the abilities you get later in the game seem to be much more useful than anything you get earlier on. Dive is a very useful attack. Well, it's a nice attack to have, not exactly extremely useful. I don't use it much anymore.
Better and better. I'd always heard that one of your southern ancestors, Huckleberry Cooper, developed a technique to move while staying invisible. Hold down the circle button to turn invisible, then move around with the left analog stick.
Yep. Now we can move while doing this. Of course it is, as you might expect, very slow. But it does mean we can move, and that does actually make a lot of things easier. Opens up some possibilities, because now we can sneak directly past areas under surveillance. Even if it's not always, even if that is always being surveilled, you can just tiptoe right on through. So that does offer some very strong advantages over not being able to move while invisible, actually. I've just noticed that a lot of the later abilities that you get are way more useful. I mean, rolling is useful in Master Thief's Prince from what I hear. Put that aside, like decoys, I'm sure there's some use if you really want to, but I ain't got much out of it. Fast is not something you use very often at all. You can use it to not have to wait as long, slightly. Or if you want to get through a part in the game slightly faster, I guess, if you're not very patient. In fact, I should probably start thinking about using that. The mine actually can be useful to take enemies, but you need to be really patient with it and accurate. Slow. Yeah, it's just not something you normally need. Yep, that's how a head works. And we're back to the roll and dive. So, I kind of question it, but then you have things like seeing all the hints in a given level. And be able to see the descriptions of enemies is just kind of interesting. Has hairy palms. Okay. Not what I expected from this game. But that's just kind of a nice little gimmick thing to have. Then we have things like not being able to drown, which is incredibly useful. Or being able to move while sneaking. I actually really wonder what it would be like to do a playthrough of this game without any upgrades, because they make things so much easier when you're just negating certain forms of damage entirely. That's pretty huge, I'd say.
Nice job breaking into the Panda King's compound. I think I figured out a way to get to the top of that giant statue. But unfortunately, it's obstructed by this reinforced ceiling hatch.
No problem. They seem to have plenty of firepower around here. I'll just have to find a few more treasure keys to get at it.
And which would that be that I want to look at right now? I would want King of the Hill. Where is that one? I think that's all finished off this episode. can't understand a thing this guy says, but sure. And see, normally you'd have to use invisibility, I'm pretty sure, to get past this guy. I don't think you'd be quick enough to not be seen by him and get hit by him. But I don't know if you'd have to use invisibility or not, because that level's basically the tutorial for invisibility. So I'm not sure. So having to use invisibility effectively to actually be taught how to use invisibility effectively, I don't know if that's what they would do or not. Because the game hasn't even told you how to really... Actually, I don't think the game's even told you how to use invisibility yet.
Fired up to make the run for the key. While on the blasting station, use the left analog stick to aim and the square button to fire.
You went over this.
I'll keep him covered.
Honestly, I think Bentley would be the guy doing this kind of support shooting things. While somebody else is doing their own stuff. So I'm usually the action guy, but I'll go with it. Also, yeah, he happens to have a horseshoe on him, which is kind of cool. That I can work with too. So as you might expect, this one is a little bit harder than the last. It's basically just because you have less time to actually hit whenever you may want to hit. I just sent through a tree. Many of these monkeys actually don't need to get as close as you would think to Bentley to actually hit him. And because of that, you might not have as much time as you would like to actually get to hit enemies before they hit Bentley. I keep saying Bentley. Murray.
I'm half done.
Not sure how he's activating these rockets, but sure. Go on. Watch out for the big guy. Boom! Conveniently knock something down with a rocket. Very conveniently placed rockets in this place, aren't there? Take that guy out. It's way easier if you know where everyone's coming from. Okay, so for this part, take out the monkey on the left first. Well, Bentley ended up getting... Bentley, stop saying that. Murray ended up getting hit anyways. But the monkey on the left will always strike first, from what I can tell. I've never actually managed to hit the monkey on the right first and actually not have Bentley... Murray! Get hit. Alright, Murray. See, now I can say her name. I'm ticked off at you. So this part's hard because it zooms out so far. I mean, that's good because it lets you see, but at the same time... if you're zooming in the way this is, you just move so quickly. It's really hard to be accurate at all. That's the challenge here. If you're really good at it in practice, you can probably kind of do what I'm trying to do here and swing by an enemy and shoot while your cursor's over them, but that doesn't usually work. Yay, musics. Anyways, that'll be it for this episode of Let's Play Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. In the next episode, we will actually probably just take on the next 2 levels of this place. I think that's all it'll be. Because otherwise I'll have to restart the game and do anything else. Because certain things are not working with widescreen hacks, sadly. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time in the next episode of Let's Play Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, where we do that. Which, first off, would probably include going to the Fiery Temple of Fire. Sounds like a very dramatic place, doesn't it? I shall prove it to you. See you then, guys. Bye.